All right, ladies and gentlemen, H-Town, does it get better than that? A 45-14 home victory in the freaking playoffs against one of the hottest teams in the National Football League, the Cleveland Browns. I have a rookie head coach in D'Amico Ryans. I have a rookie starting quarterback in C.J. Stroud. This team pulls off the divisional win. They get a home playoff game. They throw up 45 freaking points on the second best statistical defense in the National Football League in the Cleveland Browns. And defensively, they put up an absolute beautiful performance. Folks, this was a perfect football game. The Houston Texans, in the wild card round of the playoffs that they should not have made, this team won 3 football games 1 year ago. 365 days ago, this team finished the season with 3 freaking wins. They are so unbelievably young. And they just demolished one of the hottest and best teams in the league, the 11-6 Cleveland Browns on their home turf, 45-14. Houston, I see you guys in the stands right now. I see you guys on Twitter. Talk your swag, man. I am so happy for you guys. This was absolutely unbelievable. CJ Stroud lit it up. The entire defense lit it up. The defensive line, the offensive line, they controlled the trenches. They controlled the game. They controlled every single thing about this football game. Folks, before we get any further into tonight's video, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. Texans fans, we could try and get this video to 500 likes. That would mean the absolute world to me. I remember in the offseason saying this Houston Texans team is going to shock a lot of people. CJ Stroud's going to shock a lot of people, and it would not baffle me if they won 9 football games this season. They one-upped me and won 10, made the playoffs. And this was, this was magnificent, man. 356 total yards of offense. Now, statistically, Joe Flacco threw for 307 yards. He threw the ball 46 times, and it was like 24-14 at halftime. They shut out the Browns in the second half. Rush defense was phenomenal the entire game. They gave up just 56 yards rushing, averaging only 2.8 yards per carry by the Cleveland Browns offense. But let's talk about the superstar, the already established star quarterback in the league, a top 10 QB easily. It's not even close. This is Rookie of the Year. No disrespect, no shade to Puka Nacua. But CJ Stroud's Rookie of the Year, and it really is not even close. 16-21, 274 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. When Tank Dell went down with an injury, a month or so, many weeks ago, a lot of us were thinking that's a huge blow because the Houston Texans defense and offense are both over exceeding expectations right now. And Tank Dell, the rookie, was doing a phenomenal job. But all is not lost because I still have CJ Stroud, I still have Nico Collins, and everybody on the Houston Texans roster is performing. These guys are simply just stepping up and making plays. I mean, folks, this game could have been like 52-14. CJ Stroud, I think that was like early in the second quarter, like barely overthrew Nico Collins for a wide open touchdown. Offensively, this was unbelievable. And this was his first ever NFL postseason game as a rookie. This was D'Amico Ryans' postseason coaching debut. I mean, these are rookies, man. It's magnificent. The craziest part of this football game is they put up 45 points. The offense was firing on all cylinders. Like even Devin Singletary, who only had 13 carries, who had a career high in rushing yards in the regular season, 13 carries, 66 yards, and a touchdown, averaged over 5 yards per carry. The craziest part is like when their offense was on the field, they were cooking. I mean, they were cooking with fire. It was something. It was a spectacle to see. If you did not watch this game live, I would at least go watch the highlights because it is something to watch there. But they did not have the ball much. 35-24, Cleveland dominated the time of possession because they were as efficient as you probably ever could have seen. And Bobby, the OC, I really hope he pulls a Ben Johnson of last season and waits another year to become an official head coach, because this dude literally waited until the first postseason game to call just a spectacular offensive play calling game. I mean, it was creative. It was versatile. These guys were in a rhythm. They were in a flow state. It was an awesome offensive game, and they never had the football because when they did have the football, they just simply put up points on the board. They started the game off with a field goal. I think we all kind of had a feeling because they got stuffed around the goal line. I think we all had a feeling after the first quarter that it was going to be a high scoring affair. And you're going up against the second best defense in the league. This team played each other on Christmas Eve. I think we all saw that video of like Andrew Berry, getting all amped up, like laughing at the Houston Texans. It felt like when Cleveland went up like 28-7 in that game. CJ Stroud didn't even play in that. Will Anderson Jr. didn't even play in that. We knew heading into this game that game meant absolutely nothing. If anything, it favored Houston because we saw Joe. I just said we. I'm a Packers fan because they saw Joe Flacco and they saw the Cleveland Browns offense. Nico Collins is a star wide receiver in this league. He had 1,300 receiving yards on the year. He had 8 total touchdowns this afternoon or this evening. 6 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. Brevin Jordan, the speed on that dude is unbelievable for his physical traits, being a tight end. 76-yard touchdown to the house. I love Dalton Schultz. He did drop a ball, but 1 catch for 37 yards and a touchdown. John Mechie III, who had a quiet rookie season. We're all rooting for him. We all know that he's got a very bright future in this league, finished with 3 catches for 44 yards. But the storyline for me especially was the defense. Steven Nelson with the pick 6, Christian Harris with the pick 6. Keep in mind, the Houston Texans defense did not have a single pick 6 in the entire season. That's not like you need that statistic to be a good defense. But they do against old man Joe Flacco, who looked his age this afternoon. Folks, defensively, they were just all over the board. They had 4 total sacks, the 2 interceptions for the 2 pick 6s. Derek Barnett, underrated season. He had a beautiful sack this afternoon. Will Anderson Jr., although the stats will only tell you he had 3 total tackles and a sack, this guy was all over the field. And the defensive line against Cleveland, I know Cleveland's got a banged-up offensive line. Every team's banged up at this point in the season. They did just an exceptional job. The defensive line, the linebackers, the secondary, Stingley, every player on this Texans defense, I feel they did a phenomenal job. And I think it was Steven Nelson who gave up the long shot early on in the game, certainly made up for it on pretty much every single possession for there on out, with the pick 6 especially. But, I mean, defense, A+, offense, A+, coaching staff, A+. This was a perfect football game. And it just so happened to be the first game of the wild card playoffs. Folks, you don't want to play the Houston Texans. We don't know who they're going to play quite yet, I believe. I'm not going to say this team is going to win the Super Bowl, but it would not shock anybody, especially after this afternoon, if they made a run for it. I mean, you do not want to play the Houston Texans right now. That is it for today. We got plenty of Texans content coming the rest of the week, so stay tuned. But hit that like button, hit that sub button, but most importantly, especially my Texans fans, just run up the comments section. Run it up. Let's hear it, baby. What a freaking win.